Develop these 5 abilities in your personal development quest to be the best you can be and produce all you can, far more than you need for yourself and your family. That's your philosophy. And if that's what you want to do, something extraordinary, it's possible to live an extraordinary life. Number 1, develop the ability to absorb, the ability to get everything. I don't know what all you've planned here, but be in every class you possibly can. Just stay as long as you can. We're going to take enough breaks, I think, to make it easy for everybody. We all recognize the mind can only absorb what the seat can endure. I want you to know we are mindful of that. But the key is not to be careless in the gathering of knowledge, not to be casual in the ideas that could double your health, triple your income, accelerate your career, secure your fortune, amplify your harvest. So don't be careless in the gathering of ideas. Absorb everyone you possibly can. Number 2, develop the ability to respond. Let life touch you. Let the stories touch you. Let the drama touch you. 12 months ago, I was in India. I lectured in 4 major cities in India. That was like my 4th visit to India once again. I was touched by the drama of such extremes of poverty and wealth. If I was given the assignment, Mr. Owen, see what you can do with India, I would say, what could I do? What could I do? Where would you start? Let the drama of that affect you, make you more sober in your reflections about life. And then say a prayer that what you couldn't do by yourself, maybe a collection of people can do. Maybe the future will find some answers. A prayer would help. Let life touch you, but don't let it kill you. Let sad things make you sad. Let happy things make you happy. Don't shrug off always those times of bitterness that come and sadness that comes. And your heart is struck like a bullet hits it. I'm not saying give in to it. I'm saying let it affect you, because that's part of the drama. The old prophet said there's a time to laugh and there's a time to cry. And then it said, be so sophisticated that you learn to laugh with those who laugh and also learn to cry with those that cry. Allow yourself to be touched, moved by the drama. Be touched by good ideas. Be touched by opportunity. Be touched by someone's unique little sentence that might cause you to open your eyes to see things you never saw before. The next ability is to develop the ability to reflect. Part of this is in the challenge when you go home, not to just put these notes away, but to get them out. Maybe fairly often over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, just to review the notes, to drive the ideas a little deeper, but to come up with a little more refinement. And if you go back over these notes, I promise you, there is something you will discover that you just didn't have the time to discover while you were taking the notes. Because in taking notes, you're working as hard as I am, right? Taking the notes, trying to listen, trying to decide what to write down, how to compose it in a small sentence. If I've, said a long sentence, how to edit it as you go. That's why review is so important. Go back over it again. Go back over it again. Here's what I call it. Run the tapes again. Run the tape in your mind and the tape from your notes, and see if you can't capture something you might have missed, or to develop an extension of something you got now. But by going back over it now, you can see, now I see, here's what I could do with that might multiply the value of my life by 2, by 3, by 5. Here's a good time to reflect. When the day is over, how did it go? And who did you see? And what did you say? And what mistakes did you make? And what did you leave out that you could correct tomorrow? Reflect at the end of the month, 30 days. That's when you usually do the accounting for your business, and the company and the corporation do the accounting for your health. If you needed to lose weight, how many pounds have you lost? Just do a good reflective accounting. I'm trying to do a little study now on the value of the 7th day. Here's another thought to consider on the value of the 7th day. It says labor for the 6th, and the 7th is a special day. Rest, relax, spiritual, church, family, friendships. So jot this down for the 7th day. Multi-purpose 7th day after 6 days of work. Multi-purpose, and here's one of the purposes of the 7th day, I think, to review the previous 6 days. How did it go? Where did you stumble? What did you miss? What should you have thought of that you let pass? Who didn't you see? Just review the last 6 days. What went right? What went wrong? What's there? What's missing? Then here's what you do now. Plan the next 6 days. I call it multi-purpose 7th day. Reflect, go back over, then design, plan, refine, and deposit the experience of the past 6 days into the adventure and activity of the next 6 days. You will be absolutely surprised at the value and the productivity of your weeks if you'll start doing a little more of that now. Here's the last 2. Develop now the ability to act. Activity now is the catalyst and the miracle piece of the process. Here's a little subject. How to turn nothing into something. Number 1. First, imagine the possibilities. Imagination is the first step of the miracle of possibilities. Reality first starts with imagination. Now, it's hard to call imagination nothing, but it's not something in terms of a podium. It's not tangible. So it's hard to say how to turn nothing into something because nothing is there. Isn't anything, that's nothing.
Now he didn't commit it. He might have restrained the impulse because he was afraid of the consequences of his act, but that does not excuse him from the act. To look upon a woman with lust is to have committed the act. Now, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, we are told one should not commit adultery. Man thinks adultery is an act, a physical act, where a married person is known by another other than her husband, or vice versa.
You know, if you don't know the truth, you can't say that's true, and if you're not a scientist, it'd be, a little out of order to say, yes, this is true, but here's what it seems like. It's possible to think back and ahead at the same time. I mean, how fast is that to think back and think ahead? But it's one of those marvelous capabilities that we all have. And in your personal development quest of getting stronger and more vital, both physically and spiritually and mentally, now use this exercise to think back and gather more experience. Think ahead how to apply it so that the experience now multiplies in value by 2, by 3, by 5, by 10. We call this now faith. Imagination sets the stage, but faith drives it forward. Hearing testimonials where people say, if I can do it, you can too, reinforces our belief. These stories remind us that if others succeeded despite starting with nothing, we can too. Commit to high activity. The final step is to put your imagination and faith into disciplined action. This means more than just being active. It involves skillful, focused effort. Take classes to learn necessary skills. Surround yourself with mentors who can teach you the right disciplines. Your activity is crucial. It completes the miracle process of turning nothing into something. Remember, activity finishes the miracle process. That's why the formula involves 6 days of working miracles and 1 day of rest. Use the 7th day to reflect, review, and refine your plan. Look at what's working and what isn't. Devote 6 days to action and 1 to rest and improvement. This way, you'll keep enhancing your activity and achieving major results. Consider 2 individuals who begin life at the same time with the same possibilities and problems.
That's his command, and his command will not fail. He's going to be glorified in Israel. So read it in the 49th chapter of the book of Isaiah. Now he tells us what will happen before he reaches the end, which is himself. For the end is Jesus Christ. You are Jesus Christ, but you don't know it yet. You are Jesus Christ, and the day is coming that God will awaken in you as man, and Jesus Christ is God the man. God becomes man, and man became God. So
in life's journey, many encounter hardships and challenges that test their willingness to persevere. When faced with adversity, some individuals are quick to abandon their goals, offer excuses, or settle for mediocrity. But not you, not anymore. Today, you are on the brink of a profound decision, a decision to wholeheartedly commit yourself to an unwavering pursuit of excellence. To truly go hard does not necessitate pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion every day. It does not entail sacrificing the joys of life or forsaking leisure. Going hard encompasses giving your absolute best effort in everything you undertake, whether at work, with your loved ones, or pursuing your aspirations you pledge to be fully engaged and dedicated. It means going above and beyond, pushing yourself beyond your limits, embracing challenges, and refusing to back down in the face of adversity. Setbacks are inevitable on the path to success, but rather than viewing these moments as defeats, you perceive them as opportunities for a triumphant comeback. Embracing failure as a stepping stone to growth, you internalize the philosophy of failing forward, consistently learning, evolving, and refining yourself with each obstacle you encounter. A crucial understanding to grasp is that your life is an intricate tapestry woven by the threads of your daily habits. Your destiny is shaped by the cumulative effect of your actions, both big and small, carried out consistently. It is the daily, seemingly insignificant choices that mold the foundation of your success. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, there's a good philosophical phrase: everything affects everything else, nothing stands alone. Don't be naive and think, well, this doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. There are some things that matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. We all pity the person who says, this is the only area where I let down. But that's not true. The key takeaway is that every letdown affects the rest of your performance. It's part of the educational process in personal development. For instance, if you don't take a walk around the block, you probably won't follow the apple a day principle. If you don't consistently do small things like building your library, keeping a journal, or managing your money wisely, it accumulates over time. Eventually you realize you've messed up. Now here's the positive side. Every new discipline you adopt affects the rest of your disciplines. That's why taking action is crucial. Even the smallest action matters. When you accomplish something and see the value it brings, it inspires you to take the next step. Walking around the block might lead you to get an apple, which might inspire you to read a book, keep a journal, and develop new skills. All disciplines are interconnected, and every new one sets off a chain reaction. Remember, the key is to diminish any lack and establish new positive habits. By doing so, you'll kickstart a whole new life process. Here's the greatest value of discipline: self-worth and self-esteem. People teach self-esteem these days, but they often fail to connect it to disciplines. Even the slightest lack of discipline can erode our psyche. One of the greatest temptations is to ease up just a little bit. Instead of doing our best, we settle for doing slightly less than our best. But this has consequences beyond sales. It affects our consciousness and philosophy. In the smallest ways, we begin to shape our own philosophy. Neglect starts as an infection. If left unchecked, it becomes a disease. One neglect leads to another, and the worst part is that neglect diminishes our self-worth, self-confidence, and self-value. How can you regain self-respect? You don't need to attend 29 classes. Start with the smallest discipline that aligns with your philosophy. Say to yourself, I should, I could, and I will. Don't let neglect accumulate. Otherwise, you'll find yourself making excuses 6 years from now instead of celebrating progress. That's the key to discipline. Let's involve kids in small disciplines. One more, then another, and another.
But I cannot redeem myself no matter how wisely I use the law. Redemption comes only by the act of God. Divine mercy steps beyond this fabulous world of horror, really, and raises me and redeems me in the body of Jesus. I am redeemed in his body. I am one with him. Standing here tonight to tell you I am one with his body, it seems so stupid, for I respond to the name Neville. If you call me Neville, I will answer. If you called me Jesus when I walk the street, I wouldn't answer. If you said Jesus Christ, I might be curious, but I would not think you mean me.